Talk to me about the main roster. I remember what Chaz said was you guys got the part-time deals. Like you said,
Yep.
you did TV. You guys were always in the mix, though. You guys started getting a lot of TV time right off the bat, and you guys got over.
It was weird because when we first got there and stuff like that, they wanted to. Vince was very big on creating his own superstars. That's how Vince is. He wants to create everybody. So when we came in and we did I think we did a match against, it was PJ Walker and the Pug. And I think that's who our tryout match was. And we had a great match with them and everything else. And then the next, I'm sitting at home and I get a phone call and my wife comes in and she goes, "It's Vince McMahon on the phone." And here I'm sitting on the toilet. I'm going, "Yeah, sure, whatever."
Sure.
Yeah, I'm going, "Yes, Chaz, what's up?" He's like, "Glenn, Vince McMahon. What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing, just sitting here, Vince." "What's up?" He's like, "I came up with this idea. I want to call you guys the Flying Nuns." Great idea. It's a great idea. Can't wait for you guys to see it. So then he says, "I need you guys to come up to New York to get sized for these costumes and everything else." So we're going, "Flying, what the hell is this?" So we thought he was changing our gimmick and everything else. So here, the whole concept behind the Flying Nuns. Everybody gets this wrong. We were the Headbangers first. We started as the Headbangers. He wanted to turn us into these Flying Nuns. The concept behind it was going to be, these guys are so crazy. They don't care what they wear. They wear skirts. They wear nun outfits. They don't care. So we went up and he's like, "You remember Sally Fields and the Flying Nun?" And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "And she had the really big hat and everything else." He's like, "I'm going to put you guys in and call you guys the Flying Nuns." So it was pretty cool. I mean, you do what Vince says. He's the boss. Just like any other job that you go to, you do what your bosses say, period. So we did it, and oh my God, we had so much fun on the, Shotgun Saturday Night was invented, around that time, going into, the nightclubs up there and doing matches in these little tiny rings and stuff like that. We were on the very first Shotgun Saturday Night, and we were the very first team to get a win, and we beat the Godwins. And that's when Brother Love introduced us as the Flying Nuns, Sisters of Love, whatever they wanted to call us. So it was something else. And then we did vignettes all over New York. We went to New York, the big giant church up in New York, and we're standing out there, and Vince is, they told us, "Go up to the church and act like you're praying and stuff like that. We're going to do a distance shot and everything else." We're in the back of a limo, the things up and everything else. So we don't know. So we go out, we're doing it, we're down like this. And all we hear is ding, ding, church lets out. So we're standing there and we're like this. And here I got all the piercings. My nose is pierced. My beard's done. And, Chaz was his piercings and everything else. Little old lady comes over, starts praying next to us. Then she looks up and she sees all the beard, and she starts flipping out. She starts hitting us with her purse and everything else. And then we look back at the limo, and then we see the front window come down, and Vince go, "Get in the car." And it just goes right back up. And then we get in the car, and he puts out the center's the divider, and he goes, "That was awesome." So we didn't care. I mean, you don't care. You want to be, involved in TV and stuff like that. And back then, at that time, that's when, the Monday Night Wars were getting started, and, the Attitude Era was developed, and things like that. And we were still just two kids that were living way past our dreams. Like, I never dreamed I would be on that kind of stage or anything else. I was wrestling to take out the aggression that I had built up because I wasn't playing football or high school wrestling anymore. And, if you beat somebody up, then you go to jail. So hey, let me go down to the school and do this, and might be a little bit better. So, we felt, grateful, for the most part to being down there and being in the WWF at the time and stuff like that. We didn't look at it like, I mean, looking back at it now, I can 100% say to this day, till I'm blue in the face, the most underrated, unappreciated tag team ever is us. When anybody ever talks about great tag teams, you never hear anybody talk about the Headbangers. And I'm sorry, the stage dive, the finisher, is the best tag team tandem move ever. You can talk about the 3D that doesn't have the timing that the stage dive has. You can talk about LODs, you know, whatever they called that. There's no timing in that. We did a tag team thing that took two people to be on the same page at the same time. I will fight anybody that wants to say anything different. There is no doubt in my mind, and I will say it until I'm blue in the face, the stage dive and the Headbangers are the most underrated team ever.
Love it.
There.
Love it. It's awesome. Let me ask you this: did anybody? So we'll back up. So you were doing TV jobs.
Yeah.
You're an enhancement. But now you're a contract guy. Any of the guys you used to do jobs for that now are maybe
100%.
Yeah, I'm here.
100%. I think that's what helped us get our contracts is because we already knew everybody in the locker room. You know, I did jobs for Brett. I did jobs for, you know, almost everybody up there at one particular time. So, I mean, when it came our time, we already knew everybody. And when we were on the part-time deal, they were all happy for us. And, you know, Brett used to pull us aside. Sean used to pull us aside and say, hey, you guys should try to do this. Or, you know, when he's in there selling, you got to be more animated on the outside and, you know, to get the people behind you so you don't have to sit there and go, I hate that, by the way. You know, the slow clap from the guy on the outside. No, you got to show emotion and that you care that your partner's in there getting the shit beat out of them. So there was a lot of people that you know, that were there when I was doing jobs and stuff like that, you know, were happy for us. And, you know, hell, we beat Brett when we were tag team champs and stuff. It was DQ, but we still won, and things like that. So, I mean, it was neat. We were, you know, very highly accepted in the locker room. You know, Owen would always try to pull pranks. You know, that was Owen. You know, if you sold Owen's pranks, he did it to you more and more all the time. We just never sold his pranks. So, yeah, but we never had any like ill will with anybody in the locker room from when I was doing jobs to when I was a contract guy. Nobody. Bradshaw, I mean, I was there when the Smoking Guns had their tryout, you know, against Barry Hardy and Dwayne. So I remember that. So no, I mean, if anything, it got us into the mix faster because we were comfortable with everybody and stuff like that. Like we were comfortable in the locker rooms. So, and we kept our mouth shut. We listened. You know, we knew what our role was. Our role wasn't to be main event. It wasn't to be, you know, anything more than what we were intended to do. We were entertainment. We got the crowd going. We, you know, if we were first match, then we set the tone. If we were, you know, the match after intermission, we got people back to life. You know, people would look at those two spots as, oh man, I don't want those two spots. No, give them to me. I'll take that because they're extremely important when it comes to a wrestling card. Nobody thinks about that anymore. But no, you know, we were always pretty accepted.